Hey guys, it's Destiny, and today I wanted to do a tier list review. Now that Boothill has released, I thought I'd share my thoughts on him since I did get to test him out a bit before he came out. But before we get into today's video, let me know what video games you guys recommend for others to try out. For today's recommendation, I definitely have to go with probably one of the older Pokemon games. I really like Pokemon Emerald and Pokemon Platinum. Really awesome games to just try out and have fun with. And lastly, if you guys do enjoy videos like these, do make sure to subscribe and also hit the like button to support the video. And now let's get straight into it. So as you guys can see, here is the new tier list, and I thought we'd go over the changes that are made as well as the addition of Boothill, and I thought I'd just share my thoughts on that as well. So as we can see, Boothill is in tier 0.5, which essentially puts him in the category of the Apex characters, which are basically just the characters that are able to do so much freaking damage, provide massive buffs, keep the team alive no matter what you are fighting. So essentially some of the best options possible when it comes to just damage potential, sustain potential, whatever it may be. And as you guys can see, Boothill is alongside Black Swan and Kafka on the tier list, which I think this placement is perfectly fine. Him being part of the Apex category is really good since he does so much damage, or I guess he does so much forking damage. Boothill by far, when it comes to our Hunt character roster, he definitely does some of the highest damage output possible. He is just so insanely powerful. The moment you get that enemy weakness broken, Boothill just becomes honestly a boss nuker. He just completely destroys them with how much damage he's able to do. And Boothill can do this with a signature Lycone. He could do this with even a 3-star Lycone. He's still able to do a good amount of damage as shown here. And I even actually tried out no Lycone just to see what is his damage looking like with no Lycone, and I did use Ruan and Harmony MC alongside him, but I was still able to get a 2-cycle on Memory of Chaos without Boothill even holding a Lycone, which just shows how insanely strong this character can honestly be, especially with partners that definitely help him out when it comes to just team synergies in general. So when it comes to just break potential, and if we were to go a step further, the break meta, I feel like Boothill is the beginning of a very, very powerful break meta. Break effect has always technically been a strong thing to consider on some characters. For example, Luca. Luca definitely takes advantage of break effect and has a really nice potential with break effect. Shui Yi is another character who highly takes advantage of break effect, but we never really got to that next step of break effect now that we also have Harmony MC. I feel like Harmony MC is just a great character when it comes to super break in general, and even Ruan, in my opinion, has definitely been getting some shine, especially lately, because of what she does when it comes to just breaking potential. She helps out with the buffs she gives, but then she also helps out with the weakness breaking efficiency, which she's the only supportive character right now that's able to give additional weakness breaking efficiency, which means you're going to be dealing with those toughness meters in no time. And when you pair Ruan and Boothill together, Boothill is already able to increase the toughness reduction of his enhanced basic attacks with his trick shot. And you get a stack of trick shot with Boothill when you are in standoff mode, and you either weakness break an enemy or you defeat them. Either one is able to give you a stack. If you actually do both in the same instance, for example, on a little mob enemy, as you guys can see on the screen right here, you are actually able to get 2 stacks of trick shot right away, which is a really good way to ramp up his trick shot really fast. There's definitely ways to ramp up Boothill's trick shot pretty fast, especially depending on who you pair him with. I personally love Ruan with him just because that additional weakness breaking efficiency does make it easier just to weakness break enemies faster, of course, which Boothill definitely takes advantage of this because this is where a huge amount of his damage is about to come in, and he just ends up nuking whatever he is honestly fighting. Bronya is a really good team member with Boothill, and what I really like about Bronya, especially as of lately in my personal opinion, even though Bronya is a standard character that any of us can eventually get, whether it's losing a 50-50 or picking her from our 300 selector once you've done enough pulls on the standard banner. I feel like over time, Bronya has always found a way to, I guess, stay relevant, especially now. Her and Boothill is a really nice combination because of the fact that Bronya will be able to allow Boothill to act more often, which means you are going to be able to wither down the toughness meters of enemies faster. And Boothill highly appreciates, being fast, as well as having a good amount of break effect. He wants as many actions as he can get, so he can wither down those toughness meters, easily get those trick shot stacks that he really wants, so his enhanced basic attacks have the maximum potential that they can have. And then once, of course, enemies are weakness broken, then you're going to deal a bunch of damage. And if you're able to just keep acting before they're able to act again, this is just really good for being able to just defeat that enemy before they can even recover their toughness meter at all. So this is where Bronya is really good, just because once again, you're going to be able to have more actions. Ruan is a great character with Boothill. I also really like Harmony MC personally. I really like the super break that Harmony MC is able to give, just that damage output. But another character that's really good, in my opinion, with Boothill can be Silverwolf. It can also be Pela. Both of them are able to provide debuffs onto enemies, which can improve the damage of Boothill since those enemies will be debuffed. And defense reduction in general is just really, really good for a bunch of DPS characters. So Pela is a great 4-star option to use alongside Boothill. Overall, when it comes to Boothill, the break effect meta is definitely coming in right now. And it's coming in a really nice way. I do think it has potential to get even stronger, which I'm sure we're going to see even more break effect potential when it comes to DPS characters in the near future. For Boothill in general, I think he's in a great spot. I think that in the future, when we get more break-oriented characters as well, Boothill will be able to benefit from that. And if you are lacking a good physical DPS, Boothill absolutely gets the job done. He's really, really strong. And I guess if we were to quickly talk about his weaknesses, just so you guys have an idea of what that could be, the main things that stop Boothill at being at maximum potential is primarily, let's say a boss takes away their weakness or an elite takes away their weakness and you are unable to weakness break them, your damage will definitely be lower for sure, since those enemies aren't able to get weakness broken when you want them to be. So what I definitely recommend when you are playing Boothill, if there are any elites on the field or bosses that could remove their weaknesses, you definitely want to focus them down to ensure that they don't do that before you weakness break them. Because once you weakness break them, you should be good to go. I'm pretty sure Boothill is just going to literally shoot them to death, so you'll be good there. But that is one very notable weakness that he does have for sure. And physical weakness being on enemies is also pretty important, since that will allow Boothill to actually be able to wither down their toughness meters. But thankfully, Boothill's ultimate, it doesn't require any effect hit rate either, which is even nicer. He's able to implant the physical weakness onto an enemy, and his ultimate cost is also only 115, which is pretty good in my opinion. So you will be getting that ultimate at a pretty good rate, especially if you do have him with Bronya. Then you will be able to have so many actions with those two in particular. You should be able to get your ultimate pretty quickly when you are playing him. He definitely has some workarounds to potential weaknesses. It's just whenever enemies do get rid of their weaknesses, that's where it could be a problem. But overall, when it comes to the break meta in general, I'm so excited to see how this meta is going to progress. I do think it is the beginning of, in a sense, a new meta, because of the fact that we are going to now see break effect be a bit more prevalent. Super excited to see where that goes. And I think Boothill's a great character if you are on the fence about pulling him. If you are into his design, which in my opinion, he has a great design. If you are also into a pretty nice break effect playstyle, just with how he operates in particular, I would highly recommend him for sure. And I think he's a great addition to the Hunt class and definitely worthy of being in the Apex category for characters in general. Now I thought though, why don't we go over some of the changes on the tier list, since I do like to go over these routinely, just share my thoughts on what characters are. As we see, Gallagher has actually gone up to tier 1 alongside Luocha. Gallagher is honestly such a freaking great character. And if we want to talk about the break meta in particular, Gallagher is really good for that because of the fact that he gets more outgoing healing with break effect, which means you are going to be building break effect onto him. You have Harmony MC on the team. This is even better because now you're going to be able to deal a nice amount of damage with those super breaks. So Gallagher in general, especially since this is considering an E6 Gallagher, Gallagher is a great sustain option. If you have him and you haven't really built him yet, I would highly consider it, especially because of the fact that he can be used alongside characters like Acheron, because his ultimate and then the enhanced basic attack after the ultimate is able to inflict debuffs onto enemies, which means Acheron is going to be able to get 2 sacks because of that. And then of course, he's good with break-centric teams. And overall, he's just a pretty nice sustain, really nice 4-star, highly recommend. Now, if we look at the next changes, we'll just scroll real quick. Pela is alongside Bronya and Silverwolf. Pela, in my opinion, is by far one of the best 4-stars in the game. DPS characters can highly take advantage of the fact that she can provide an AoE defense drop with her ultimate. If you do have Eidolons on Pela, then she also provides additional utility for ice DPS characters, and she will be able to reduce their ice resistance, so there's that factor. Honestly, she's great on a bunch of teams. I usually recommend her as a 4-star option if you are lacking additional options for team comps. Pela is a great option to consider. If you haven't built her yet, highly recommend building her 100%. She's a character I always advocate for when it comes to looking at what 4-stars to build. And I definitely think she's 100% worthy of her placement. And I'm kind of curious, do you guys think that Pela should be alongside Bronya and Silverwolf? Because I believe previously Pela was in this tier 2, which is only 0.5 away from these two. Plus, she can also absolutely help with skill point regeneration. You don't have to always use her skill either. So that's also just another nice factor that she has, is that she can help with skill point regeneration of the team, which means if you do have a more skill point intensive DPS character on your team, Pela can absolutely help out with that. I can potentially see Ruan actually potentially going up into tier 0 when we do get more break effect centric characters, because of the fact that she will be able to provide so much additional utility to those characters in particular. She already is able to work on majority of team comps as it is and provide amazing utility with the buffs that she provides, which assists with so many characters just being able to dish out way more damage. So now that she has even more room to shine with these break effect centric characters, the more we get, I can definitely see her potentially going into that tier 0. But if she stays 0.5, I think this is perfectly fine. I can just see Ruan being an incredible investment. And if she does get a rerun soon, which, speaking of reruns, we don't really have too many options that they might rerun, unless I guess they want to rerun Zila again. But yeah, we don't have too many options. It would be Ruan, if I'm not mistaken, it'd be Hua. It would also be Argenti, and I think Dr. Ratio. I think they've already done everyone else. I could be mistaken though. I could see Ruan getting a rerun soon, so if you guys did miss out on her, I would absolutely say to prioritize her as a character with what she's able to provide team comps in general and just her synergies with other characters, just because of how many buffs and additional utility that she's able to provide characters. Harmony MC might be able to go up in the future, just depends on what happens when it comes to just break effect in general. But I could potentially see that as well. I would just definitely, if I were you and you do care about like, I guess just team synergies or just like upcoming potential metas, I would definitely say to keep your eye out on break effect for sure, since that is definitely coming in hot right now. And it's really, really powerful as well, because Boothill is just dishing out so much damage, amazing character, and he's also the best cowboy, so who doesn't love Boothill? But yeah, that'll be it for my thoughts on the current tier list changes. I actually want to make my own tier list very soon and just rank characters. I think I'll rank them a bit differently though than how traditional tier lists are, to just fit more my thoughts. But if you guys are interested in that, do make sure to let me know. I'll most likely be working on that just to see where I think characters can go and just my thoughts on the meta overall and just what characters can be amazing future investments. That can also be something to consider for sure. So yeah, I've done enough rambling for today though. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you did, do make sure to subscribe, leave a like, support the video, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.